Hi guys, and welcome back to another championship video. Moving on to round 26, quick recap on round 25. We got one score correct. Feels like it's been a while since I said that. I feel like every weekend at the moment, every round I'm getting no scores because there's so many games postponed that I'm missing out, and it ends up being like out of 7 rather than out of 12 or whatever it's been. But it was QPR beating Bristol City 2-1. Glad to get one right and hoping I can get one right here again. Let's get into my predictions. And starting off with a game that would be very exciting if it wasn't postponed. Sheffield United taking on Middlesbrough. Sheffield United in form, won 4 in a row, and the last one was a 1-0 win against Fulham. So they're on good form. And they're playing Middlesbrough, who are also in great form, won 3 in a row, won 5 out of the last 6. Both these teams are shooting up the table, and it's since they've changed manager. In this, I think there's only one way to call it, because I really don't know who's going to win it. So I've got to go for a draw here, and I'm going to go 1-1. Two of the newly promoted sides now, as Blackpool take on Hull. Blackpool, they're struggling now. They've lost 5 of their last 6. The only win was against Peterborough. And they did have a brilliant spell. Pretty much, I think it was about 6-7 games in. They went on a good run. They won quite a few games. And they were looking like, I don't know, they could have a top half finish. That's dropping now because they are losing a lot of games. And they do seem to be struggling. Hull, they went on a run, 6 unbeaten. Then they lost 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. But I'm still thinking at the moment, Hull have had the better form sooner. So I'm going to back Hull on this. And I'm going to go Hull to win 2-1. Coventry take on Luton next. And Coventry, they've been struggling as well recently. They haven't won in 6. They lost their last game 1-0 to Millwall. And that form at the start of the season, especially at home, that made people think maybe they could push for playoffs, seems to have gone now. They're obviously going to be safe, I'd imagine, that's what they want really. But it would have been nice for them to push on that extra step and challenge for those spaces. I don't think it's going to happen now, but it's a championship and anything can happen. Luton, on the other hand, are a team that a lot of people thought would be a dark horse for top half / playoffs at the start of the season. They're doing okay. They drew their last game 1-1 with Fulham. The issue that Luton have had all season, converting the chances that they create. They create a lot, they just don't score enough. Maybe we're going to see a start of that now, I'm not sure. But I will back Luton here. I think they will get the win. I'm going to go 1-0. Bristol City versus Millwall next. And Bristol City lost their last 2 games in a row. The latest one was 2-1 against QPR. And that game was Bristol City at home. Millwall, they beat Coventry 1-0 in their last game. And I'm going to back Millwall. I think they are slightly inconsistent. Obviously, they've been the draw specialists in previous seasons. They do still draw a lot, but it is that they'll win, then they'll lose, then they'll draw, then they'll lose, then they'll win. And it's just all over the place. They can't get a run going, but I think they will get a second win in a row here. I'm going to go Millwall to win 2-1. Blues v QPR next. And Blues, we lost 4-0 in our last game to Blackburn. We've had our last 2 postponed against Fulham and Peterborough. And I've been pretty glad that they've been postponed. Peterborough, I would have liked to play, to be fair, but that Fulham game, I'm quite glad it was postponed. Although they're not in the greatest form, we're probably even worse. So that was good, but I think with this one, it's going to be a very difficult game. QPR, they won their last game 2-1 against Bristol City after 2 losses in a row. Now this is the sort of game where Blues will just win because we haven't won in our last 3. Under Bowyer, I feel like I've seen this a bit this season where we'll go on a little run, we won't really do anything, and then we'll get a win, maybe get 2 in a row, and then go back to drawing and losing. However, I'm not going to be so confident and go for a win here. They beat us in the reverse 2-0, and I'm going to be a bit optimistic and go for a draw. Probably will lose it, but I'm going to go 1-1. Blackburn take on Huddersfield next, and Blackburn, they've won 6 in a row, they've won 7 out of their last 8, the other was a draw, they're absolutely flying, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Huddersfield, they've won 3 in a row, and they got a shock 1-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Now, it was a shock to me, I didn't see it coming. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and in the video that prediction was in, I went for a 1-1, or I think it was, a 2-2 draw. Now, I originally thought Forest would win it, and I sort of said that I don't give Huddersfield any credit, really. I'm going to back them here, but not fully. I'm going to go for a draw, because although I don't think they'll win it, I think they'll lose it, I'm just going to do it. And then they won, so I still got nothing out of it. Very frustrating. And their punishment is Blackburn are going to beat them. That's what I'm going to go for. I think it'll happen anyway. I'm going to go Blackburn to win 2-1. West Brom v Cardiff now. And West Brom have played 23rd and 24th in their last 2 games. They drew 0-0 with Barnsley, who are 23rd, and they lost 1-0 to Derby in 24th. It's getting a bit worrying for West Brom. Automatic promotion was the goal. It's looking like scraping playoffs might end up the goal if they carry on this form. With teams below them like Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest, gaining and picking up a lot of points, maybe there won't be room for them in the playoffs. But for now, they're still in there. They just need to pick the form up soon. Now they're playing Cardiff, who lost their last game 3-0 against Bournemouth. Don't really look great. And I'm going to back West Brom here. However, if they don't win this game, they might start to want to think about, changing something up, changing formation, not changing manager. He hasn't been there long, but maybe changing some of the players around and getting something else going, because it's not really working at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to give them the win. I'm going to go West Brom to win 1-0. Forest versus Barnsley next. And Forest, they've lost 2 in a row against Middlesbrough and Huddersfield. But both those teams are in good positions near the top. So it's not too bad for Forest. And luckily for them, they're playing a Barnsley side who have not won in 8. They're the worst performing team so far in the league. And to be honest, Derby are very close to catching them. As it stands, Derby are only 4 points off Barnsley, and Derby have had 21 points taken off them. That just really puts into context how poor Barnsley have played this season. And I do feel bad for their fans, as it was looking like they could get promoted to the Premier League last season, and now it looks like they're doomed. For this game, I have to obviously go for Forest, and I'm going to go 2-0. Reading versus Derby next. Reading lost their last game 1-0 against West Brom. Derby have won 3 in a row against Blackpool, West Brom and Stoke. Derby are looking like they could actually escape, which would be a big surprise, but there are enough teams down there not performing for them to stand a chance of survival. And I'm going to go for them to get the 4th in a row here. I don't really think much of Reading. I think the Derby side, the way they're playing at the moment, they can win this. So I'm going to go Derby to win 1-0. Stoke beat Preston now. And Stoke lost to Derby 2-1 in their last game. Preston, they beat Barnsley 2-1. But that was a while ago. They have had a few postponements, as a lot of these teams have. So it's difficult to call where Preston are going to go, as they've got a new manager that played against Barnsley and they won the game, but is that really something to measure it off? I'm not so sure, because you need to play someone who is at least mid-table to sort of be able to get a judge of how the team is doing. So I'm going to go for Stoke to win this 2-1. The next game is our last postponement as of recording. It's Swansea versus Fulham. Now Swansea, they've lost 3 in a row. They're struggling. Fulham haven't won in 5, and their last game was a 1-0 loss to Sheffield United. The reason I'm going to go for what I'm going for is because this game will be rearranged for in like a month's time. And I think Fulham will be out of the form that they're currently in by then. So I'm going to go Fulham to win 3-1. Bournemouth v Peterborough is our last game. And Bournemouth, they have won 2 in a row, scoring 4, conceding none in those 2. After 6 games without a win, 3 draws, 3 losses. So they look like they could be finally back on track. And I'd be very surprised if they didn't win this one. They're playing a Peterborough side who have played 12 games away, won 1, lost 11. As long as that record continues, that's such a poor record, I'm just going to continue saying it, because Peterborough are a different side at home to what they are away. They're awful away, and they're pretty decent at home. So I've got to go for it. I'm just going to go for a high score here and hope Bournemouth to win 3-0. So that's it. Those are my predictions for the first Championship fixtures of the new year, 2022. Let me know in the comments what you agree with, what you disagree with, and put your predictions down there too. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Championship content. Hopefully, we can start getting some more scores correct now, and up the Blues.